Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And this morning, yes, it is this morning, I am talking to Sean Hewitt, who lives in Harwich. So we're in the same country. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Karen. Lovely to be here. Thanks for inviting me along.
That's my pleasure. And it's lovely for you to be on the other end of the interview.
It makes a change. It does make a change, I must admit. I was just saying before we went into the recording,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
um,
The,
this
the
is the opposite
tables,
way round for me.
yeah, the
How
tables
interesting.
have been turned.
They have. They really have.
Yeah. So my question that I ask everybody is, what is it you enjoy when you're not working?
I do quite lot of things when I'm not
I know.
working,
Well,
although I don't.
there could be one or two chit chats. So if
Yeah.
you choose a
Okay.
topic.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Things. Right. So obviously, we know each other very well. And my days are taken up with a lot of work for the members of the association doing all what I do. However, what do I do outside of work? Right. Well, I love my garden, and I love socialising. And within the socialising comes a lot of activity, shall we say?
Well, I can think of two.
Well, yeah. I mean, my garden's one of the things I love to spend time in because it's a bit of a sort of like it's my own little haven really
Mm,
for just be doing what I want to do without anybody else.
the
I mean,
pressures of
obviously,
everything going on
yeah.
around. Yeah.
Well, working with everybody during a day-to-day basis anyway, always
Mm,
looking out for others. This is my, I suppose this gives me my time. It's like that I can zone out from the world outside and
yeah.
just concentrate doing on something I enjoy. And it's so rewarding when you sort of like look back at it at the end of the sort of a little bit of a tidy up or the garden session, and you look back and go, "God, that does look good." Unfortunately, at this time of year, with a lot of sun and the occasional bit of rain, it don't look good for long. So I have to keep
No,
going back out there and mowing the
bit of
lawn
brown
again.
grass.
Yeah, yeah, and it's and of course I am wary of the fact that we've had some really warm weather recently, overwatering the certainly the grass anyway, because the grass is so robust it grows back and
Oh, it
comes
come
back anyway.
back. Yeah.
But the plants obviously do need that little bit of extra care. So yeah, that's my zone going to sort of on my own, just sort of zone out from the world. And then of course, other than that, I mentioned socializing, and with socializing comes more teamwork, I suppose, more things to do with others.
Yes,
And pool is one of my loves.
it
I
is.
love the game. Um, it's
Tell us a
I've
bit more
played it for
about
years.
the teams and what you play, and are there any leagues you play in?
Yeah, of course, yeah, no problem. So yeah, I've played around the country because I've moved around the country.
Mm,
Started off playing pool seriously in a league up in Huntingdon with a few friends of mine when I lived up that way, and I was up there for some years. I moved away from Essex pre coming back to it back in 1990. So that's how long ago it was when I moved
yeah,
up that
quite a
way and
time.
to Cambridge. And I was up there till probably about 10 years ago. Um, and so fair amount of time up there, but I didn't start playing pool straight away. A friend of mine said, "Come on, let's have a game." And he went, "You're pretty all right." So he took. So I was like, "Oh, am
Pretty
I?
all right.
Okay." So he went, "Why don't you want to? Do you want to join our team?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" So I had to learn all these new rules because I just always played the what everyone does pub rules. Just
Yes,
like you make them up as you go along, sort of thing.
which is very
Um,
different, isn't it, to a league?
yeah, it is. Well, it is, and it is in the when I first started out, I was playing what they call world rules, which were a follow-on from the old EPL, which is sort of the old-fashioned, more like pub rule type of pool. And I was playing world rules, so I had to learn all these new tactics and what you could do, couldn't do in playing the world rules that had changed from the old EPL. And then so I played there for many years, then moved down to Ingatestone in Essex. That would have been 10 years ago, and joined one of our members' pubs actually, but joined the Bell pub's pool team. Was just a player for them at the start, and then the captain, who I know really well, he didn't really have the time to do it. And he asked me would I do it because he felt that I could, with organisational skills and things like that, not necessarily skills on the pool table, but just the organisational skills. He thought I'd be an ideal captain. So I said, yeah, go on, I'll give it a go, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then 3.5 years ago, we moved to Harwich. Again, playing world rules back in Ingatestone. So I was used to the rules. So I didn't know what I was doing. Came to Harwich, and all the rules different here. They're
Oh,
totally different. Yeah, totally different.
oh, so
So
the end of the world, the rules are different.
yeah, at the end of yeah, any further than Harwich, and you're in the drink. Basically, you're on the way. You're on the
And
way
then the
to
rules don't
Holland or
exist.
France. Yeah, don't go too far.
No.
Um, Fall off the edge of the cliff, or certainly at the edge of the pier here. Anyway, um, but so they play them totally different. So we play what was the original rules with a bit of a Harwich twist. So we play the old EPL really, but with a bit of a Harwich to nominate the black. When you get down to the black, you have to nominate the pocket when you're going to go into. And if it goes in a different pocket, you lose the throw. So if it rattles round and goes in another pocket, you've lost. Um, and that was a bit of a sort of, I must admit, when I first came here, I kept playing as though I was playing into world rules. And I kept losing. And I'm sitting there thinking, all these people playing these like early year rules here, and I keep losing. Why do I keep losing? And I worked it out. It's because I was still in my head, was still playing world rules, not using the advantage of the rules that they were playing here. So I totally
Oh,
changed my way of thinking, and then yeah, started to become a lot more consistent in the winning zone rather than the losing zone. Um, but yeah, no, thoroughly enjoy it. I've captained 3 teams since I've been here. Yes, they keep calling me a nomad around here because I keep moving. Um, I was captain out of the Trafalgar for a season and a bit, 2 seasons in fact, yeah, summer and winter. I then moved to another one of our member pubs, the Royal Oak, and captained them last winter. Um, and that things moved around, people moved on from the Winter League, etc. And then I was asked if I would go and captain a newly opened, well, I say newly opened, it's under new landlord and landladyship.
mhm.
And they said, oh, we're looking for a pool team. Would you come and help us put a pool team together? And I said, yeah, great, of course I will. And I was sort of, do I stay with the Royal Oak? Do I go? What do I do? Everyone's moving about. So I thought, yeah, well, why not? Let's give it a go and see how we do. So we've been playing. We've had 3 friendlies so far. This Wednesday starts the league properly, but we've got a bye week this week, so we're playing a friendly against another team who've got a bye week. Um, and so far we're unbeaten, so not a bad
Good.
start. We're
And
unbeaten, 2 wins and a draw.
with the teams, is it etiquette that you just are involved with one team, or
Yes,
can you be involved with more than one team at the same time?
no, you can be if it's a different league. So round
Right.
here we've got Clacton, Colchester, Manningtree, Harwich.
Hmm.
I could play here in Harwich, but also I could, if I was invited to go and play for another team in one of the other surrounding leagues, as long as it didn't clash with when I
Conflict.
play
Yeah.
here, I could go and play other leagues. Now, in all the other leagues, they all play different rules to what we play here. We are very, very like on our own really, with the rules. Yeah, no. So world rules has moved on. It moved on from world to black ball to now international. So Manningtree play world rules, I believe. Clacton play international rules,
Oh
and we
God.
and we play Harwich rules. So it would be if I was to go and play for a different team in a different league, I'd have to again play much more tactically aware with their
Yeah.
rules than play around here, because they are all very very different. I know
Wow.
you still got to put all the colours in the black at the end,
Oh
but it's
yes.
how you get there that's different.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, who knew? I mean, that it's quite an eye opener. I mean, to an outsider, pool is pool is pool, you
Yeah,
know, and you wouldn't think from one district or one area to another that there would be different rules, and then Harwich with the rules plus a twist. I mean, it just
We do like a twist here in Harwich.
was.
Um, but yeah, no, it's there. The thing that the big difference between what we play, and this is the significant difference between what we play and what, apart from nominating the black, um, the biggest rule between us and all the other rules that are out there, black ball, world, and international, is that we can roll the ball up behind one of our. They have in all the other rules you can do that, but you after you've made
If I could
contact.
just stop you, you froze when you
Oh,
just.
sorry.
Yeah, no, no.
Yeah, sorry.
If you
No,
could
that's all
just
right.
go back.
Yeah, of course I can. So basically, what it is that in our rules we can roll the ball up behind our colour, just tap it and leave them snookered. All the other rules that are out there, black ball, international, world, you have to, if you're going to make, you have to make contact with the ball, but then one of the balls, either the target, the white, or something else, then has to hit a cushion. So technically, if you don't pot, you're trying to go for a snooker. You've got to hit the target ball, come off the cushion, and then bring the white back behind it, which
Right,
is a lot harder than just rolling it up behind it.
right. So if you're
I,
snookering the ball in pool,
Oh yeah, you're snookering. You're putting somebody. You're basically we call it this tucking somebody up
yeah,
so that they have to come round and come off of the cushion to find their ball. Um, the biggest difference between snooker and pool, there's loads of differences. Apart
okay,
from obviously the target is to pop the balls. Snooker is much more. I think. Well, one, it's on a massive table. Yeah, so it's a 12 by 6 table.
and what size
And
table is pool played on?
between either a 6 by 3, which is basically a quarter of a snooker size table, or most of the modern tables are now 7 by 4. We've got 7
Right. So
around here at
quite a
house.
difference in
Yeah,
table size
massive.
then. Mm.
So yeah, and if you need the sort of glasses, you have to wear those upside down ones, otherwise your frames get in the way because you're looking over the top of your frames all the time. But the biggest difference is obviously I think uh, pool is technically more attackive, and snooker is more. Not, I wouldn't say defensive, but it's slightly more defensive. But it's there's more tactics in keeping the white safe. Whereas
Yeah.
in a pool match, you see if you've got colours, then they're all open, and your colours are all open. So say yellows are all you're on yellows, and they're all there to be able to pot, you'd probably go ahead and pot them and then get the black. Whereas in snooker, it's much more refined. I think it's a refined game as
Mm.
opposed to pool's a bit more attackive.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? To have two table sport ball games to be so diversely different. Do you know what
There are, yeah.
is there quite a history to pool? How far back does it go?
Oh crikey, pool has been going around for years. I mean, I've got a friend of mine who lives in Gatestone. His name's Paul Colburn. We know him as Colby. And back in the day when Paul first went on TV, they played the old EPL rules, and you get two very very good players basically snookering each other, tucking each other up all the time. The frames could last for an hour, just one frame, because it's so like don't
Mm.
no one wants to give the opportunity because on a smaller table. Once you've given position away, you could then be finished. It could be all done and dusted. So they changed the rules for the TV into World, which meant the game was a lot faster because people would make mistakes in the tucking up by coming off of a cushion, etc., first, and it would then still leave sometimes the ball exposed. So when they changed it over, um, that would be probably somewhere around about 40 years ago, I think,
Oh,
thereabouts.
right. Okay.
My friend of mine who used to play pool for me, ex-professional, was one of the very first professionals on Sky Sports to
Right.
play pool when they first started to properly televise it after they changed the rules of
Hmm.
from old EPL, which is what we play, to what was then the new rules of world rules. But that's got to be 30, maybe even a bit longer plus years ago.
So
Um,
it's a relatively young sport then.
yeah, the money. I can see the big difference between the money in the pool and snooker
Well,
is the
I should
money
imagine it
the
is. The
money in
money's
pool
quite
is
different.
nowhere near what the money winnings you can win as a
Yeah,
champion of England, or a champion of a tournament. The money is nowhere near what these guys, even for the professionals.
yeah,
It's a different. It's like, I suppose it's a bit like Premier League football against being paid as a semi-professional. That kind of level is the
yeah,
difference between, they get hundreds of thousands, and Paul might get a few grand, maybe a £10,000
yeah.
win payout, whereas obviously the top snooker players, they're getting hundreds of those 10,000s when they win a tournament.
Yeah, that it is fascinating, fascinating game, really. And
It's such an enjoyable game because it's a team game, but you also,
but you've also got the tactics of individual
yes,
playing too. So
yes,
you've got sort of
yes.
two levels within the same game.
Yeah, you have, because you're playing as a team to win as a team, but
Yeah,
you've got your individual responsibilities to also win your
yeah,
frame. And then there's two sets of doubles in the middle where we four players, two sets of two come together, and there's always two doubles in the middle of our in our league. And then that becomes a bit more of a team sport because you're working together to win that frame.
yeah.
But it's a great way to socialise, and I think we do it on a Wednesday night, so it's a lovely night to do it because it breaks the whole week up.
Yes,
It's right smack bang in the middle of your Monday to Friday. For a lot of people, they are working Monday to Friday. Um, and it gives you a little bit of a night out with friends and you know and teammates. And the fact that we play normally half the season, ours and half the season there, so it's home and away legs normally,
hmm,
certainly in the Winter League. It means that we're travelling around to different pubs on the night that when we're away, and others are travelling to us when we're at home. So it's great for the pub industry because obviously it brings people into the
yes,
pubs, and we all know that that it's hard enough out there anyway for
absolutely.
publicans to keep the doors to opening up, and keep getting people coming in. So it's a good boost for the pub industry.
Yeah. Well, we're nearly out of time, but I just want to touch on something that I know that you have a passion for as well, and that's singing. And you enjoy your karaoke. So I think really with that, there's going to be a part two and possibly a part three because there's another sport as well I know that you enjoy. So we'll leave it on that note if that's all right with you.
Thanks
I'd
for
like to
giving me the
thank you.
heads up.
Yes.
Thanks for giving me the
Um,
heads up on this, for what could come next for the
yeah,
next
well,
time we both
yes,
speak.
exactly. Little carrot.
Yeah.
So I'd like to thank you very much for joining me today, Sean. It's been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit more and learning a bit more about Paul.
Thank you. And it's been lovely to be here with you, Carolyn. I mean, we do know each other
We do.
relatively well within business, and we do know a little bit about each other on the what goes on outside. But this
Yes.
has been a really nice conversation, and thank you very much for inviting me along to Carolyn's Chit Chat.
Thank you very much, Sean.